How will the digital accessibility industry fare against a bad economy? On this opening slide, I have four characteristics of a bad economy. We'll relate these to everyday situations, and then we'll also put them in the context of digital accessibility products and services. And then at the end of this presentation, we'll talk about the outcome for the industry as well as the people inside the industry. Okay, to start off with, we have less spending, so people are more reluctant to spend money, less of a budget. Another characteristic is people only buying what's necessary, so no extras, no upsells, no luxuries. And then also improved decision making on the part of the buyer. And this is because people are more willing to invest time to make sure that they make the right purchase and they reduce the risk of wasting money. And what you'll notice is the common theme here is that cash becomes more precious. All right, so looking at less spending, of course, accessibility is still needed for compliance, but spending will be more restricted. So think about your household. And in a bad economy, generally that means that spending goes down. So whereas before, let's say you bought five coffees a week, maybe now you only buy two. Whereas before you bought the UFC pay-per-view every month, now you're skipping some months and thinking, well, maybe next time I'll buy. And this same process, this same decision making is happening with companies and other organizations as they're evaluating their purchases. All right, and so this next slide, I have budgets decreased. So whereas in a year where the economy was much less of a concern, now budgets are down. So before, let's say the budget was $20,000, now it's $14,000, and the procurement agents, the buyers, they need to make it work. So they need to make it stretch as far as it can go. Relating this to an everyday circumstance, let's say you work at a corporate retail store and you were averaging 35 hours per week on your work schedule, and now you're only getting 27. So in turn, your budget goes down. And let's focus in on entertainment. Your entertainment budget was $250 previously. Now it's only $150 a month. And again, the same can be happening with governments and other organizations. So only buying what's necessary. So in a down economy, buyers are only going to buy what they need. They're going to go away from luxuries. So some quick examples: just buy the basic car wash, not the super car wash. Just the hamburger, no fries with that. Just Hulu. I'm going to go ahead and cancel Netflix and Disney Plus. No valet service. I'll park my car. Again, the same thing is happening with digital accessibility buyers. We don't need any of the extras. We only need exactly what we need and nothing more. And then also improved decision making. So buyers are more willing now to spend time researching to make sure that they have the right decision, they make the right purchase, and that they don't waste any money. Because again, cash is precious. We want to make sure that we don't waste it. So think of a situation where maybe you'd go to the store and you'd buy running shoes on a whim, just because the running shoes looked really cool. Now, maybe you spend 2 hours researching before you ever make a purchase because you want to make absolutely sure that the shoes not only look cool, but they're going to last a long time. They will fit right. You're going to make sure that you have much less of a chance of making a bad purchase. Buyers are now doing the same. And they're thinking, well, maybe do I really need this scan subscription? Is this absolutely necessary for what I'm doing? And so maybe they'll come across another one of my videos where they find out they don't need the scan subscription. And this all leads to buyers thinking, where can I get the best value? Value is going to win out in a bad economy. And we're going to talk more about this in a moment. Now, as for the digital accessibility industry, it is quite robust. And the reason it is robust is because it is mandatory for compliance. It is also necessary if you want to avoid serial website accessibility litigation inside the United States. So this is the reason that digital accessibility has become as big as it is already. It's really required. It might be formally required or it might just be practically required. But either way, the digital asset owners need to make sure that they have accessibility in place. And of course, we also see in the marketplace, we also see VPAT demands, ACR demands prevalent. And so that in turn is requiring more people to seek out VPAT services. And one other thing that makes the digital accessibility industry robust is that larger organizations have the available cash to pay for the services. Compare this to other industries where maybe the buyers are smaller businesses or solo entrepreneurs. Their budgets may dry up faster. They're going to dry up faster than the budgets of these larger organizations. So these are just some of the reasons why the digital accessibility industry is robust. But of course, in a bad economy, there are very few winners, and that is just the reality. So even though the digital accessibility industry is somewhat robust against a bad economy, the bad economy is still going to creep in, and so you're still going to have a negative impact because just the overall economy is bad. So the bad economy behaviors and characteristics still hold. Buyers are going to seek out the best values, and this will make it especially difficult for companies that have bad values. And then I have also there's more uncertainty now because of the inflation and the tariffs and other variables at play. And so I have here, this is what I just said, digital accessibility companies are still negatively affected. It's just not going to be as extreme of an impact, whereas versus other industries. So think of an industry like entertainment. Entertainment really is only, it's not necessary. It's just desired for the fact that it's entertaining. So the other industries just won't fare as well as digital accessibility. So, what is the outcome here? Well, the digital accessibility industry is going to be less impacted than more marginal industries. So, just think of, let's say, with marketing, we have a social media marketing agency. They're going to be more impacted because those services just aren't going to be as imperative as digital accessibility for the reasons we've discussed. But of course, I said there's still a negative impact. And so what I think we'll see is some digital accessibility companies are going to have to adjust to the new economic realities. And so what could happen is there could be suggested pay cuts. There could be pay cuts, not in the form of just an outright pay cut, but it could be a transition to part-time work or contractor status. Some people are going to be outright fired. The industry is going to cool off, but it's still going to remain solid. A quick edit to go over the key takeaway from this video. There will still be tremendous buyer demand for digital accessibility. When I say that the industry will cool off, this will apply to all industries. There is going to be more buyer discretion and there will be less money to go around. So the purchases will flow to the individuals, agencies, and companies who offer the best values.